Hi, this is Aaron from Sibling Rivalry, and today we've got another film development video for you. We're going to be developing color film in this black and white monobath.
Keep your camera ready, and you'll get the kind of picture only you can take.
So like I said before the intro, we are going to be developing color film in a black and white monobath. In theory, this should work. This is going to be a bit of an experiment. We went with a camera that we knew we were going to get at least some result out of. It's not one of my older ones. It's the lomography one, which I got in my thrift store haul. So we might have a link for that somewhere up in this biz. So I ran some Kodak. Let me just take a look here and see what it is. It is Kodak 200. I believe it's Kodak Gold is the one. It's a 24 exposure roll. And I've actually already retrieved the little leader here, but what I'm going to do is actually just pull it in and show you guys how to do film retrieval, because that's always a handy skill to have. So some manual retrieval or some automatic retrieval systems on cameras, once you finish the roll, will just wind the film back into the canister fully, and that's designed to kind of keep unknowing people out of the film and prevent it from getting exposed to light or being pulled out by someone like, "Oh, film, wow!" And then you've just bleached all of your photos with the sunlight. So they have these handy little tools. They come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, but the premise is the same. It slides inside of the canister, and this flexible bit wraps around, and then you essentially spin this until it locks onto a little indentation on here, which you might be able to see right there. There's a little tiny indentation. It might not show up on camera. So once you get it locked on there, which you'll hear a little bit of a click, you then slide out the inner one, the secondary one, and then you just pull everything back in and it just pulls the film out. So it does a nice friction grip, and then so why talk about it when I can show it? Now, some of these are a little tricky. So first thing we want to do, it actually has a little instruction on here. We want to slide number 1, or A, in. Make sure that the whole thing is inside of the canister. Slide that in. Then we just spin this around until it catches, which you can kind of feel it. Then we go and slide in part number 3. And, oh, and there we go. 12th time's the charm. You pull it out a little bit more until you just get that little soft bit, like the little rounded edge there. This is technically film, but 90% of the time it's already pre-developed or pre-exposed because the canister and the packing process. But that's about all you want to have hanging out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera and we are going to load it into this Patterson reel system. So if I didn't cover this in as much detail before, which I think I did, essentially this is a waterproof lid. Make sure that it's actually on there, otherwise it's not waterproof. Watch our previous film development video, we'll have that linked somewhere. You get a little turn shaft, you get this funnel, and you get 2 Patterson universal reels. These guys are awesome. My only wish for the Patterson team, if they're watching this, is that you guys make a version for 110 film, because you can do 120 and like a few other different film sizes. And essentially it's just a little ratcheting motion, and it uses this ball bearing in here, and it pulls the film in automatically, so you don't have to worry about manually reeling it and getting your fingers all over the film in the dark. So we're gonna cut the camera, and I will be back in a second with the film loaded on here in this dark light tank. All right, so I'm back from the bathroom. and I didn't use the bidet. So I've got it loaded in here. You just want to make sure you lock in this top funnel, which kind of creates a light trap. You can now set your little turning rod in there if you want. Actually, I would just leave that out for right now. Before we get too far ahead, I just want to touch base with you guys on the film canister. So, a good thing to do is actually to bring a pair of scissors with you, which I did not. Thankfully, Val is close by. We live in a one-bedroom apartment, and the scissors are actually surprisingly close to the bathroom. So I got her to pass me some scissors. I tried to just keep everything from being exposed to light as much as possible, and then I just clipped this. What that actually does is if you buy bulk film, you can actually just tape it on here, and you can reel in your own film if you want. Yeah, a lot of times you can just tear the tape here, but this seems to be a thermoset tape or something. I don't know, it's really freaking strong. I couldn't tear it without risking damaging the film itself. So, and you're not going to really expose this last little inch of film anyways. It shouldn't be exposed unless you've got a really weird camera setup. Yeah, so it's good to keep these little canisters. Always handy. And if you don't bulk load your film, you've got a little decor piece. Ooh. Very Urban Outfitters, which is where I bought the tank. Of all places. Okay, so to start out, we've got, in case it wasn't visible before, a funnel, which is going to be handy for pouring the stuff back in here, because this can actually be reused up to 20 times for the whole tank. I've got some water here, which I learned from last time to have water on hand for rinsing the film, which is always good, and this is going to be my dump bin, so to speak. All right, so let's get started. It says 500, oh, that's for 120. For 135 or 126. So there, that's the different sizes this thing supports. 35 millimeter or 126, which I believe are interchangeable. 127 film, which is a little more niche. I don't know if they make 127 anymore. 120 and 220. So, yeah, we're gonna load in some of this Monobath, and like I said in the previous video, which again we'll have linked somewhere, this stuff is essentially just, it works as a fixer and a developer. So depending on your temperature, your agitation, and a few other things, you can adjust to the way that your film develops. I don't know exactly how this film is going to behave. I'm just kind of playing around here, so I'm not going to be minding that too much, but it wouldn't hurt to get like a liquid thermometer. Now I'm just going to pour this in here. Here, you do want to keep some air in there. I'm going to set this funnel in here. I'm going to get Val to get me a damp cloth or a Lysol wipe because I splashed a little bit on the table. As long as you don't get this stuff everywhere, you should be fine. Val has pointed out to me that Lysol wipes are worth their weight in gold these days, so we're not going to waste them on that. This stuff is fairly harmless, like almost entirely harmless. Just damp cloth, clean it up. And just last time we noticed if it sits on stuff, it tends to stain it with a bit of a teal, aquamarine-ish sort of color. So now I've just put the little turn shaft in here, and I'm just agitating back and forth. Just get a nice mix, get the bubbles out. Just tap this. Who's there? Any banging noise, and the boys think it's someone at the front door for some reason. There we go. That should be good. I'll set that over here. And we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to do some agitation for, yeah, I'm going to make sure the lid is completely on. I think it's 3 minutes for black and white. I am going to just, I should double check, but I don't know if I have my phone on me. Oh, yeah, I'm going to double check the lid. Realistically, like, there's not a lot of resources for developing black and white film or developing color film in black and white. So it is something to be mindful of. You might experiment a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna do over that. Okay, and we'll go for about 2 or 3 minutes.
B-roll. 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 B-roll.
So we're gonna try and do that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we have finished. Time to drink up. Glug glug glug. No joke. Don't drink chemicals, kids. So it's coming out amber-like. That's good. Hopefully. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, last time it was turquoise, but it was using a different chemical. It was, well, not a different chemical, it was the film itself. Because what this does is it activates the different emulsions on the film. So the turquoise was the different emulsion that was used on that. It turned turquoise as this worked on it. So now I am going to put the funnel in the thing, and we're going to try and do this very carefully. We're making pictures here. Wow. Okay, so we're done with the funnel. We should be done with the chemical, unless we decide to come back and do this again, but if we do, that'll probably be a whole other thing. Okay, now we want to pour. This is where everything went bad. So this time, I'm gonna be smart. I lied. I'm not done with the funnel. Haha. Ha-ha! Oh, Scheiße. Scheiße!
Oh, Scheiße. Scheiße!
Monitor how much water you're putting in, kids. Every time. Without fail. Am I not supposed to be developing film? Is this a sign? Now we're going to rinse this. I'm going to agitate. Thankfully, we have this cloth, this very damp cloth, on the table. Yeah, the water's coming out a little grayish. I want to say like amber gray, not ambergris. Not to be confused with ambergris, which I'm told is both delicious and horrifyingly disgusting. Let's take this and be wary. Every time you open this, it will have built up a bit of pressure and it will burp on you a little bit, but just be smart. Okay. More wah-wah. Okay. I'm going to just take an initial look here. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Words you want to hear every YouTuber say. I don't see anything developed. Yeah, I don't see anything.
Was it ruined?
I don't know if it's ruined or not. Me taking it off probably doesn't help. But now you can see what I'm talking about with the ratcheting mechanism. I'm gonna... Oh, it's coming off. Why is it coming off the ratchet? It's supposed to go on the ratchet. Come on, guys. Okay, there we go. So, There, you can see what I'm talking about. Let's try and develop this again.
Rinse, rinse, rinse. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Rinse your tushy. Rinse your tushy. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Give me pictures.
There is no color coming off this. Maybe this doesn't work with this film and stuff, but we'll find out. Absolutely nothing to show for it other than a Duncan hair. No, this looks like it's not developing in the slightest. Looks like it's all exposed. So, clearly, don't do this at home, kids. Only thing I got out of it is a dark spot. Yeah, so I guess we'll call it at that. This was definitely a fail at this point. Yeah, I know these guys, Cinestill, make a easy, I think it's 2 or 3 part bath kit. So we'll have to give that a shot at some point. Yeah, so subscribe so you don't miss out on that. For now, I would say don't do this unless you know that your film's going to develop with your developer. This was kind of just an experiment more than anything else. I read up online that apparently it was supposed to develop, but it was supposed to develop with a sepia hue to everything, which I was fine with because we can always do color correction and it's black and white anyways. I don't see anything here. Maybe, yeah, it's just all sepia other than the spots that are black. Maybe I didn't develop it long enough. Maybe this is expired. Maybe, like I'm not an expert at this. It is from Walmart, so you never know. Maybe I just didn't develop it long enough. We'll never know. We'll have to try in the future. I think I've got another roll of this somewhere. I don't have color developing stuff, so might as well try it in the future. Look it up. So subscribe. Make sure that if you want to see more of this, that you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss out. We've got a couple photo and photos related videos up on our channel, so we'll have those linked either in the description or somewhere around here. So if you like the video, thumbs up is great. And if you know what went wrong, let us know in the comments down below. Bye for now.